Hi everybody, my name is Robin and welcome to my channel Bird's Eye Stitches. This is a channel about cross stitch, so if you are new here then welcome. Hopefully you are here because you have a love of cross stitch like I do, and if you are returning then still welcome. You are clearly here because you have a love of cross stitch just like I do. Today is Saturday, December 21st. Today is not going to be a normal Flosstube check-in. It is almost the most exciting time of the year or day of the year, which is the day that I talk about my plans. This is a planning video for 2025, and like many of you out there, the planning of the new year for cross stitch and the planning of cross stitch itself is just about on par with the cross stitch hobby alone. So today's all about my plans. I'm going to show you all of the pieces that I plan to work on, at least like the focus pieces for the yearly challenges. And then I'm going to go over all the plans for the month of January. And I'm going to show a little bit of my new cross stitch planner, which the one that I picked up this year is the Black Needle Society. They have a stitching journal and planner. So I'm not going to go over the stitching journal and planner in super detail. Like I'll probably go over that each month as I use it. Or if you want a standalone video of that, I'm happy to do a flip through, but I just got it a couple days ago, so I haven't gotten into it enough myself to even figure out how I really want to use it yet. So for this video, I'll just kind of show you a couple of pages that I have highlighted and all the pieces I plan to stitch on and goals. Planning 2025. Here we go. Luckily, in my last video, I had a couple of you guys in the comments give me a heads up that my camera had flipped either when I got my new phone or when it did its last update. The camera like reverted back to where, the words are backwards when I show them to you guys. Mandy Parker, which Mandy Parker has a Flosstube video, so I will link her channel and it's fantastic. Thank you, Mandy. And of course, my friend Carolyn Zook, Zook Stitch. Both of them were kind enough to let me know that I needed to adjust my settings, because there is nothing worse than a planning video for 2025 where I'm like showing at least a little bit of pieces of a planner and it's all backwards. So first goal of 2025, get your settings right in your recording, and I've already accomplished at least the camera words part of that goal. So I'm an overachiever, and thank you both for letting me know that. All right. So I'm already holding this. So this right here is the stitching journal and planner from the Black Needle Society. I ordered this when I ordered the Black Needle Society's Nice List Advent gift box. I got this one for two reasons. Number one, I was already ordering a giant box of gifts, so I already had that coming. And at the same time, you could have pre-ordered this. So it was simple. So I picked it up. Reason number one. Reason number two, I hadn't really seen a whole lot about this, like the Black Needle Society's stitching journals, but I know that they are a cross-stitch company. They put a lot of thought and effort into all of their Advent boxes. They have all of those retreat boxes and things like that they do, and they really just put a lot of thought and effort into everything that they produce. So I assumed that they would put a lot of thought and effort into this. And I can definitely say that they have. So I'm really excited to use it throughout the year. There's a lot of fun. They have their own stitching challenges and whatnot that they have in here. I may do them if it happens to fit with what I'm already working on, but it's not my focus. If I repurchase this for next year, it might become a focus, but for this year, I have enough on my plate for sure. But still, there's a lot of really good stuff in here. Without doing a full reveal, one thing that I'm really excited about that I have not seen in many other cross-stitch journals is for each month they have one of these. It's a tracker, right, where you can put down whatever piece you're working on, those lines up top, and then you can color in either the amount of time or whatnot for each day that you spend on that piece. So you could do, color in one little spot per hour or per color or whatever you want to set this up as. Whatever works for you will work for this planner. Obviously, it's yours. So That's really fun. And then this one has a spot where you can put down either your projects or whatever your goals are, and then assign a color. And then each day of the month you can color in that block with that color or colors that you accomplished that goal. So I found both of those to be really fun because I do something similar to that with my normal, like my everyday life planners, you know, with whatever things I'm focusing on for that month. I do something very similar to this. So I thought that would be really fun to incorporate within my cross stitch. So looking forward to seeing how that rolls out in January. Okay, when I got this, there's some spots in the back where you can write down all of your whips. So I haven't really done this. So I actually got into the closet. I pulled out all of my whips. I wrote them all down. So I just wrote down what the pattern name was and the designer. My whip count going into 2025. And I did not include my Alessandra Adelaide New Year in the Village piece because I am on track to have that one finished by New Year's. So I didn't even write it down. So not including that, I have 40 whips going into 2025. I was really excited that it was such a round number. In my book, that's not all that many. I will have finishes, I hope, over this next year, and I will have whips. I know I will have whips because I'm going to have at least 2 in the month of January. So that's the way it is. Okay, let's get right into it. So for the month of 2025, I better not set down this planner just in case I need to pull it back out. For the year of 2025, I am going to be focusing on only a couple different like Facebook group challenge type groups for the whole year. So I will be working on Whip Go from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and then I am doing Stitch from Stash, and I'll go over all these in detail, of course, but Whip Go, Stitch from Stash, and then obviously the magazine monthly cross stitch challenge. So those are the only, I say 3 because Stitch from Stash is going to take so much effort that I'm calling it its own project challenge. But those are the only 3 things that I'm really focusing on for the entire year. The reason for that is because I have big goals in all of them. So let's start with Whip Go because it looks like I have my Whip Go items on top. And I'll show you the pieces I'm going to be working on for that. So if you don't know what Whip Go is, Jessie Marie Does Stuff. It was her genius plan. It's essentially a bingo board. You make your own goals. You assign, you know, whether it's numbers or amount of stitches or finishes, or you make your own goals. But you fill out your bingo board or your Whip Go board, and when she calls the numbers monthly, then that is what you work on for whatever your goal time is. So she has a Flosstube video where she explains it way better than I just did. So if for some reason you don't know what that is, definitely go and look hers up. For my Whip Go, I am doing 5 pieces, and my goal is to do 10 hours on each piece. Now, of my 40, I had 5 pieces that really stuck out as being, well, they're BAPs, big A projects. Giant samplers or just biggies, ones that if I don't really put true effort into, they will absolutely never get done. Most of these are extremely old and I haven't touched them in years. One I haven't even started, but I want to. So without further ado, Whip Go. So the first one that I will show you is the one that is not yet started. I've had this one out numerous times over the last few months and have gotten as far as threading the needle. That's been it. This is Consider the Lilies by Heartstring Samplery. It is absolutely gorgeous. I know that my friend Carolyn Seasook Stitch is stitching this one. My husband actually bought me this entire thing as a gift semi-recently, and I have truly just not even started it yet. I'm not okay with that. So this was the first one to hit my board for Whip Go. It will get, each of these are on my board 5 times. So I have 5 pieces that would be called 5 times throughout the year of 2025. and the plan is to do 10 hours each time it's called. So essentially each one of these pieces should get 50 hours over this next year. Now, I won't be finishing this in 50 hours. I haven't even started it, but I'm excited to get it started. So heartstring samplery, consider the lilies. I made my working copy, I got my needle threaded, and that's where that ended over the last few months. So I have this huge bag full of all the floss. I'm doing called for everything. Actually, it's not called for fabric. The fabric is close. I am doing mine on a 37 count Wild Honey Legacy linen. So, this nice color. So it's fairly close. I have never stitched on 37 count, which I think is part of why I haven't even started it yet. I don't know. I wasn't ready, but I am ready in 2025. So consider the lilies. All right, the next one that I will be working on is Spring Quakers. And I probably should have unzippered all of these before, but got Spring Quakers here. I started this one years ago. I don't think I've taken it out of this bag in at least one full year, maybe even two. But this is Spring Quakers by Rosewood Manor. One day it's gonna look very close to this because I am doing it on called for everything. So called for fabric, called for floss. And of course, if you're not familiar with this piece, the floss for these are the amazing Valdanis, which I just love. I feel like I love these boxes of flosses more than the patterns themselves. Not sure how that works, but it is what it is. So now, once they're stitched, they're gorgeous. I've seen them fully stitched and framed over at Carolyn's house, and they are breathtaking. So I cannot wait to get mine done one day. I have not pulled these out in so long, I have no idea where I am, but okay, I think it goes this way. I am here. So I have a very long ways to go. It looks like this motif is done. Oh, you know what? It goes this way? I don't know. It goes some way. But I have 3 motifs done. This one down here has not been completed. I don't think this one is either. Nope, it's not. So I've got 3 done, many more to go. So that will be really fun. This is a really fun piece to stitch on, even though there's a lot of color changes. Again, that Valdani floss is really nice. So I'm excited to get this one back out. I think it's just all of the large pieces, they used to feel a little bit overwhelming when I'd get them all pulled out if I didn't work on them for a long time. So hopefully that's not the case this year. And if it is, I mean, if I just chip away at it a little bit at a time, then it shouldn't be too bad. So 10 hours, Spring Quakers, times 5, so 50. All right, the next one on my whip go list. I'm very cautiously trying to pull things off the pile so they don't all come tumbling down. But next up, this should be entertaining to see how much I ever completed on this. This is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. I have all my printouts of all my working copies here to move through. But this is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. Looks like this. This is another beautiful piece when it's done, but there is tons of stitching going on in here. Okay. I started this a number of years ago. I haven't touched this since a number of years ago when I started it. So I don't even know what it looks like at this point. I think I am a little ways through block 1. That is correct. Okay. So we are here. Looks like I got the fence done and the block. Now the block is half the battle for the first one, but that is where we're starting, and we're gonna see where we get after doing 50 hours over the next year. So hopefully I'll at least get that first dang block done, if not, you know, a little ways into the next one. So that is Hawk Run Hollow. This is one that I have been seeing numerous people stitching on their Hawk Run Hollows, whether it's the Christmas one or Halloween or, I mean, any of them. But all of them are just absolutely beautiful when you see them all put together. All the stitches, the mix of full coverage or mostly full coverage blocks with the more open blocks is just really nicely put together. And when it's all done, it could be just a gorgeous statement piece. In fact, this one, I know it says Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow, but I don't care, it's going up year round. I think that's gonna have to happen with all of these really giant pieces. Like, if it's a giant piece, it's going up, not on the bird wall, because that's only for birds, but it's going up on the other walls year round. That's the way it is. All right, two more to go. So the next one up on my Whip Go board, scattered throughout, is another sampler. This is Sunset by Rosewood Manor. Beautiful colors, so much work. Tons of color changes, but it is so worth it because it is gorgeous. So we have this one. This is another one that, because it's so big, it consistently made it to my to-do list for the month. But if I was going through my acrostic, the one that I never touched was usually the giant piece, which is this one. So we are here. Literally have only done these tiny little diamonds. I feel like I've pulled this out multiple times and we've had tiny little diamonds. So that's why it made it to the Whip Go board. I truly chose projects that I have planned to stitch on all throughout the past year and then never did. So I learned that putting it on my acrostic is not good enough. They need a dedicated Whip Go square. This is going to be completely stunning when it's done with all these bright colors. It's funny because when I first really got back into stitching, all of these bright colors and stuff truly just called to me. Now, I think they're gorgeous, but I'm more drawn, not completely like a prim stitcher, but I'm just more drawn to either simpler pieces or like muted fabrics with the bright colors, things like that. So this one where it's bright on bright, like I probably would not have picked this one up now, but I still absolutely love it and I can't wait to complete it because it's just such a good broad, like bright pop of color. So Whip Go, 50 hours, Sunset. Also, I just love Rosewood Manor. I think out of all the samplers that I own the most Rosewood Manors for sure, All right, last but not least on my Whip Go board is a monochromatic piece. This is by Long Dog Sampler, and it is the Pilgrim. Ta-da! So mine, I'm stitching this in white, well, Blanc, officially, DMC Blanc, and I don't remember what color this fabric is. Let's see if I have it in here. It's not in here, but I have it somewhere, so, or it's wrapped up within the fabric. We'll find out. All right, I haven't seen this in a while. It's a big piece of fabric because it's a very big piece. And I am way up here in this corner. Let me fold this so we can see it better. There we go. So this is going to be truly stunning when it's done. It is a beautiful, it's like a gray purple fabric. I got this from Be Stitch Me. In fact, I believe I had her specially dye it for me. I sent her a couple different ideas of what I was looking for the finished piece, and she came up with this. So it is, I know it's a Be Stitch Me, and it is beautiful. But I am up in that top left-hand corner. I am there. I have all of here to go. So 50 hours, it is not getting finished, but it is getting progress. So that is project number 5. So all of these have different squares across my Whip Go board. I will show those more in depth as I, number 1, make my Whip Go board look pretty in my new planner, and as it gets called throughout the year. So WIPGO 5 projects. We have the Pilgrim, we have Sunset, Christmas at Hawkerun Hollow, Spring Quakers, and Remember the Lilies. So I am very excited to get some true work done on all of these pieces, all for very different reasons. Okay, that is WIPGO. Next up, Stitch from Stash. So I don't have anything to show for Stitch from Stash, but that's another one where I think I really tried it one year, maybe 2-3 years ago. And then I've kind of joked around like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stitch from Stash, but it was never truly like, I didn't have my heart in it, right? If that makes sense. This year, I bought a house a couple years ago. I've moved all of the things. I've organized, I've sorted. I have a very good feel for all of the stuff I have. And I have a lot of stuff. So I have a ton of patterns. I have tons of fabric, and I have more floss than probably anyone could ever use in their entire lifetime. So I really want to try to stitch from Stash. So I am giving myself a 0 base budget. I do not have any more like floss of the month, fabric of the month, pattern of the month. My last one, I just paid my last invoice for, so I don't have any more of those coming, even though they don't technically count if you do it before the beginning of 2025. I don't have any of those. And I have a number of pieces that are very close to a finish. Nothing that I'm going to show you right now, but I actually do have a lot of pieces of my 40 that I could finish. And if I throw in some small ornaments and things like that, I should be able to accrue enough money to be able to buy whatever it is that I truly need. Now, I will say, even though I will log it, what I am not going to do is I won't pass up on either a chart. Like let's say that I go to like an event, or if I go to a retreat and they have something you can only get at the retreat, or if I see something for sale that is a limited release, something like that. I'm still gonna buy those patterns just because I don't wanna miss out on the opportunity to get something that is hard to get later. But that is a far cry from what I normally do, which is I see something that I like and then I add it to my cart, and then I go to Garan or whoever it is I'm buying it from, and then I buy all of the charts that are like it, or whatever it is, right? You can't have one chart on its own, so I end up buying 10 charts, and now I got a lot of charts, which are fabulous. But I think this is the year we're gonna truly stitch from Stash. And Carolyn, I know if you are watching right now, you are laughing because you are my biggest enabler, but it is not gonna happen. All the rest of you are all my witness. Okay. All right, last but not least, Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge. If for some reason you don't know what that is, Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge is a Facebook group that I co-run with my friend Carolyn Zook, Zook Stitch. We have a lot of really fun things going on in that group right now. We have a lot of really fun new things planned for 2025. So if you own even one cross stitch magazine, and if you're on Facebook, of course, because it is a Facebook group. So if you own a cross stitch magazine, you're on Facebook, I 100% recommend you going and joining that group. I will put the link to that group below in the comments after this video goes up. You do have to make sure to answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, we're gonna deny, because for whatever reason, we've been spammed way more with the weird AI bots lately. Don't know why AI bots care about cross stitch, but they do. So we just try to verify that you're a live human, and then poof, you can join the group. Okay, so the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge, the whole goal of that group years ago when we first started it was to bring some focus back to the cross stitch magazines. Now, we have no rules in this group because I guess the overarching goal is to get everyone stitching and, sharing in the love of the cross stitch hobby itself. So we don't want to bar anyone from the group. So of course you can stitch on magazine pieces, you can stitch on Hades, you can stitch on samplers, you can stitch on whatever you want as long as it's cross stitch. We have monthly acrostics, we have monthly themes, we have a new thing, which is an anagram. So if you join that group, you can watch Carolyn's video, which does a really great job explaining how that works. And then we have pop-up challenges. So for me, I really wanted to bring my focus back to the whole reason that it began in the first place, which is getting some charts stitched from the amazing magazines that I have piled up in my closet. So I have way too many projects to just stitch magazines, but I am going to be doing my themes will always be magazines, and then all of my pop-up challenges, which it's not a requirement for anybody else, but for me, my pop-up challenges are also going to be magazine pieces. Now, where this gets tricky is 2 times a year we have their larger pop-up events that are like a bingo type scenario where we actually call a number every single day, either a number or a prompt or whatever every day, and then that's what you stitch the following day. So those are technically pop-up challenges, which means that for the goals that I've set, means I have to do magazine pieces for all of those. Our first one is in January. It is called Burringo. Where I live, it is not burr right now. We were literally wearing shorts and a t-shirt. It was like 80 degrees. No joke. I love the heat, so I say bring it on. But for most, it's burr, Burringo. So for Burringo, you have 25 prompts, and they're all different. And you can find cross-stitch pieces to stitch for each one of those prompts. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to stitch for Burringo. I'm not going to go through every single prompt, but I'm going to show you, again, I chose 5 pieces and I made them fit for each prompt, and they're all from a magazine. So I'm going to show you my five magazine pieces, and then I'll go over what I'm doing for my acrostic, because my acrostics are just going to be normal. I'm going to stitch on my normal, the 40 whips that I have, which include a handful of magazine pieces. They all need love too. So, but Burringo, all about the magazines. So we have one new start because I found there's a couple prompts that I didn't have anything that fit. One of the prompts being stitch on something that's monochromatic. I did not have a monochromatic magazine piece started yet. So for that one, I am going to do a new start from Just Cross Stitch Magazine, the February issue of 2022. Looks like this. And the piece on the cover is the piece that I will be stitching. So let's see where that's in here. It says page 11. Go. All right, this is the Snowflake Sampler, and it is by Camellia Droge of Cross Stitch by Camellia. They say that the skill level is easy, and there is nothing but cross stitch in this piece. So that sounds fantastic. Looks like this. I will probably not stitch it white on blue. I might reverse those colors potentially, or I don't know, we'll see. I feel like with all the work that I have to do on the Pilgrim, which I'm stitching in white, I don't know that I'm going to want to also stitch this in white. Like I feel like I want, for my 2 larger, one color pieces, I would rather do something that's different. Otherwise, 100% I will get bored. So I haven't pulled this yet. I have some days off coming up over the Christmas holiday where I will be kitting this one up. But this is on my Burringo board 5 different times for the month of January. My room is so nice and clean right now, and I'm just making a giant disaster, showing all these pieces and then plopping them down here in the pile. But that's okay. That's what we do, right? Okay, next up, you guys have seen this one a number of times recently. This is a piece from Just Cross Stitch Magazine here. And this is the October 2020 issue. The piece I am stitching on this one is, oh, I actually grabbed the wrong piece, but that's okay. I guess I'll show this one. Why not? This is not going to make the Baringo board. This I actually am putting on my Q-snap to finally finish tonight. This is a piece that is almost done. I literally have these little frills here, and then I have the stems of some pumpkins, and that piece is a wrap. But let's see what that's called. There it is. It is Pumpkin Harvest by Janet Bryant Groves. What they show looks like this. And obviously I stitched mine on a dark piece of fabric, so it looks much different. This one would have been done a long time ago, but I actually ran out of the floss that it calls for, or that I chose to stitch for all of these backstitch pieces. And my friend Andrea actually sent me, I just needed like one little strand of it. So she sent that to me a long time ago, and then I packed it all away. And then I found it again finally whenever I was organizing all of my cross stitch stuff. So I plan to work on this later tonight, but I accidentally put it in this pile. So we will have a finish of that shortly, which means it's not going to make it on the Baringo board. So that is that. The piece that should have been in this pile that must still be in the living room is Home Sweet Haunted Home. So you guys have seen that a number of times in the recent videos, but I will show that to you obviously when I pull it out to work on it, whenever it gets pulled in January. It is on the board 5 different times, so plenty of time to get some stitching in. For awareness, whenever we call the prompt for the Baringo board, the requirement is either 1 hour of stitching or 100 stitches, with the exception of a couple of the prompts where you have to like roll the dice or something like that. So you don't have to work on these things for a whole long time, but it's just a chance to get your hands on a number of different things, which is really great for January. So, all right, so Home Sweet Haunted Home. You probably know what it looks like. If not, we'll see it soon. Next up, we'll get this one out. Page 76, it says. I am really excited to get some work on this one because I haven't pulled it out in a while. This is Spring Has Sprung. It's by Claire Comerford, and it looks like this. Oh, I guess there's no pattern on this side, so there we go. It looks like that. It is very springy. It's got a bird, yellow flowers, a basket, all the things. Love it. So that is a piece from the World of Cross Stitching. It is issue number 40. Not sure if that's helpful, but it looks like this. It's an older one. Not super old, but a couple years ago. And I am here. My gosh, I'm gonna talk about being wrinkled. These pieces that have just been stored away for forever. It's nuts. Okay. There we go. We are right here. So, bring this a little bit closer. We've got a good amount of work done on the basket, good amount of work done on the bow. Looks like I was smart and was backstitching as I went. Yay me, because I dislike backstitching, so I try to do it as I go. So we have that done, and I've got some work on this white flower and have begun the outline of the yellow flowers. So this is on my board 5 times, so we should get a decent amount of progress on it. Maybe we can even get into the bird. That would be exciting. All right. Next up. This one was heavy. I was thinking, what in the world is in this bag? Similar to Alessandra Adelaide's New Year in the Village, this is a piece that has been in my whip pile for forever. I'm so close. I mean, I'm not really close because it's full coverage, so it takes forever, but I'm getting somewhere. This is what I call Majestic Unicorn. I started this in like 2018 or something, 2015, 2016. I don't know, but I started this for my daughter. She was young enough to like unicorns. She's currently 16. She does not love unicorns. I mean, she's not anti-unicorn, but unicorns are a little bit too sunshine rainbowy for my 16-year-old awesome daughter. She'll still want it. She'll still be excited for it, but maybe when she gets older, it'll still end up in her house. I don't know. But we're here. So I was backstitching as I went. We have on this side, this top section is done. This top part of the unicorn is done. A lot of the body is done. Down here is done. This has come out a few times over the past year, but it's only come out for anywhere from like 2 hours at a time, the end. So 200 stitches on here doesn't make much of a dent. But it has 5 blocks on the Bringo board. And again, I'm going to be using magazine pieces as my theme, which for me, I do 4 hours on my theme piece every month. And this will make its way out quite a bit. So that is Majestic Unicorn. Can't wait to see that one done. It's on my list of hopeful finishes in 2025. Because while it is full coverage, there's not truly that much left. I mean, there's a lot, but I think it's doable. Right, and then last but not least for my Bringo board is, what was this one called? I think it's Cozy Critters. This one was from Just Cross Stitch Crazy, and it was issue 22. It's an oldie. Looks like this. So these, I am stitching all together. Let's see. I have no idea what I'm going to do with these when they're done. Let's see. Okay, technically they're called Cozy Animals, but I call them Cozy Critters. And on page 58 it says. There we go. Oh, Cozy Critters by Tiny Modernist. They made them into ornaments. That would have been a great idea had I chosen to do that back in the day. But back in the day, I had never made an ornament, so I did not do that. I am stitching mine. Go. On just a piece of hand-dyed Aida. As you can see, I have the polar bear. I thought it wasn't done. Okay, so the polar bear is complete. He's a cozy complete critter. The penguin is complete. And according to my signature, I completed him back in 2023. Okay. I used to do a little bird here. It looks like an M, but it's a bird, and then the year. So I think I completed him first, so maybe 2022-ish, and then the penguin. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a minute. So I have 2 more cozy critters to do. I'll do one in each corner, and then I don't know, maybe there'll be flat folds or something fun for the holiday. But this will be on the Bringo board 5 times, and I will work on obviously I don't think I'll get a whole one of these guys done, because even though they're fairly simple, there's a little bit of stitching in there. So we'll see how far we get. But he is super cute. I forget how cute these guys are. Look. They're in little tiny sweaters. How adorable. All right, so that's the 5 pieces for Bringo. All magazines, all worked in there very creatively. Looking forward to that one. Last but not least, we've gone over Whip Go, Stitch from Stash, Magazine Monthly Challenge, Pop-Up Challenge for January. And then, so while we're at it, we'll go over my plans for the acrostic. So every month we have an acrostic and a theme. Again, it's up to you what you want your goals to be and what you want to stitch on, whether it's magazines or something else. Some people track time, some people track stitches, some people have goals to have a finish or stitch, you know, one item from their piece whatever goal works for you, as long as you get some time on your piece, then that works for us. It's just meant to be fun. So our theme for January is countdown, I think. Let's see. I put this one in my planner, so let's double check, but I think it's countdown. Yes, countdown. So the theme is countdown. I did not have any magazine pieces. I was looking for a piece that either had numbers or a clock, and I didn't have any current whips from a magazine that had either of those things. So then I started looking through my magazines, and the ones that were really jumping out at me were actually Christmas pieces, and I just kept feeling like if I was going to work on a Christmas piece, that would be like a countdown to next Christmas. And so that's what I went with. So for my theme, I will have a new start. It is from the 2018 Just Cross Stitch Christmas Ornament magazine. Looks like this. And the piece that I will be stitching, just cover up the pattern here. Go. This is Dashing Through the Snow by Lucy Heaton Cross Stitch Designs. Looks like this. I really like this piece. It is very simple. In fact, it says that the stitch time is, okay, they don't give a stitch time, but it's only 39 by 39. And it only has 3 colors with just a teeny tiny smidge of backstitch. So it is really cute. I will be, obviously I'm stitching from stash, so I'll be pulling my own version of all of this. I'll probably do a Krynic for the red on the tree, or maybe I actually might flip this to green. Yep, I'm gonna go green and white. So I'll do maybe a light brown background instead of the gray. I know, who am I using brown instead of gray? I don't know, but I'll do like a lighter brown with a white tree, and then a true Christmas green for the reindeer with some shiny Krynic green for the little baubles on the tree, and then a gold probably for the tree topper. There we go. It's decided. So I'll be pulling my stuff from this piece when I kit up the other one from the magazine over the Christmas holiday. But that will be a new start for my theme piece. 4 hours. I don't know if I'll finish that in 4 hours. It looks simple, but I'm not a quick stitcher. So we'll see what happens. But it'll be a countdown to next Christmas, so it works. All right, then we have our acrostic. Our acrostic for the month of January is Timer. So for the acrostic, the only one that you've already seen that I'm using is the Spring Quaker piece from Rosewood Manor. So my acrostics, I do 2 hours each. So 2 hours on Spring Quaker from Rosewood Manor. I'm not gonna pull it back out because, well, it's somewhere in this big pile. It's Spring Quaker. You've seen it. The other ones are all ones you haven't seen yet tonight. So I don't know if these are in order, but that's okay. We will be doing Medieval Pheasant Tapestries. This is going to be for the letter M in Timer. Looks like this. I'm doing this one with, I'm not using called for colors. I'm using whatever I have in stash, and the majority of the colors that I pulled are, let's see if I can get this right here. Yep, these are all, most of them are Cottage Garden threads. Not all, but a lot of them I did Cottage Garden threads just because I was part of that Floss of the Month through Garan, and I had a lot of colors that were similar to what it looked like was called for on this piece. So we are here. Got a long ways to go on this. I feel like everything that I pulled for January is like, I have a long ways to go on. But I feel like that's fitting for the beginning of the year. So we're here. I got some leaves done. The leaves in the border. A long ways to go. But I'm hoping to work through, it's only on here for 2 hours, but I actually am gonna get started on this tree just to kind of break up the working on the leaves. I'll finish the one that I have started, and then when I get started on this little corner here. So that is the plan for that one. This will be a really fun piece once it's complete. How cool will it be to have something with the word tapestry up on my bird wall? I'm excited for that. Right, then I have a new start for January. This I talked about briefly in my last Flosstube. It is part of a Christmas present that's happening this year. She's only going to see the pattern, and the goal is to have it done, I mean, hopefully by Christmas next year. So it was not her only Christmas gift, but a really cool one. So this is Cat Tarot number 6, The Lovers. Looks like this. I am using floss from my stash, which is very similar in color. They have DMC, so I just pulled the DMC, which I own pretty much all of those colors, so that was easy. Looks like that. And I am stitching this on a piece of 40 count tabby cat linen. So looks like this. So that will be a new start. It's only on my board for 2 hours, but looking throughout the year, I've got some time where this will get some real dedicated time to get worked on. After Bringo. Basically, Bringo takes all the focus for the month. That's okay. Bringo and Whipco. Okay, next up is one that I haven't seen since I started it way back in, I think, 2020 when I did, what is it called? I can't think of it. It's late. But in 2020, where you start a whole bunch of things, or maybe it was even 2019. But it's been a minute since I've even unzipped this bag. So this is Tree of Butterflies by Alessandra Adelaide. Looks like this. And I am not super far. Again, that seems to be the theme for January. I have a piece of a tree done. Oh, that's the back. I'm like, why does that look so funny? Okay, there we go. We have a piece of a tree. Now, what's up or down, couldn't tell you just yet. I'll figure it out when I actually break this thing out to work on it. But I am that far. So clearly I have a long ways to go, but it'll be a really fun piece to make some progress on. I really like that color floss that I have on there. It looks like that is a Timber by Crescent Colorworks. Looks like this. Now, I may have a slight problem because I have a whole bunch of floss pulled for this, but I only see this much of this color, and it has to be this whole tree. So clearly I will be ordering another one. I better get on that before 2025. Not that I'm gonna need more than that. And I need to make sure that it matches so that way I can start mixing it in together now if I need to. So writing that one down. Gary, Ronnie, I need to order this timber, please. Done. Okay. All right, last but not least, we have, this will be my New Year, New Start, and it will be the letter E for timer. Okay, this is E Pluribus Unum. I think I said that right. Okay, by Jan Hicks. You all have seen this many a times. Many Flosstubers are stitching it. Sorry for the glare. I am jumping on that bandwagon because I love it. I love the colors, just the pinks and the whites and the daintiness of it, but it's still the American flag. I really fell in love with this piece when I saw it stitched. So I ordered this chart semi-recently when I was at a retreat, and right after I got back from a retreat because I saw it in person. I ordered all of the called for colors because when it comes to Jan is like a color guru, and I have a hard time changing up her colors because I usually fall in love with her pieces literally for the color. So I ordered all of the called for color, and I pulled a piece of fabric from Stash. So this will be New Year, New Start, and it will be letter E for E pluribus unum. Okay, I'm gonna have to practice saying that just so that I don't sound ridiculous every single time I pull this thing out. All right, so that is Timer, which is the acrostic for Magazine Monthly Acrostic Challenge. That is the theme. We've gone over the whip go plans. Again, I have 40 whips going into the new year, and that includes Remember the Lilies, because even though I haven't really put a stitch in, I just feel like I've tried to start it so many times that I just wrote it down. Like, I'm gonna count it. This one is not on that list yet, so I will add that when I truly get it started, so I can get, you know, the true date that I started and start logging the real times and all that. So 40 pieces going into the year. I have a great goal of finishing 6 of those pieces. So all 6 of them are relatively, they're not giant, but they're not, you know, teeny tiny little magazine like ornaments, which still totally count, but they're all like, you know, these sizes. So my plan is to finish 6 of those, and to really, the whole focus for the year 2025 for me is just all about consistency. So consistency in stitching, consistency in filming, consistency in keeping up with just the 2-ish challenges that I have going throughout the year. I feel that's going to be enough, and I'm super excited for 2025. So if you have made it this far, then thank you so much for watching. I'm going to film my short real quick. So if you're not watching those, check them out. They're short, they're 1 minute, they're nothing fancy. I will go over the stuff that I'm showing in way more detail. I'm gonna film next weekend, since today was just a planning video. I'll film next weekend for its Christmas wrap-ups, all that stuff, and the normal video. So I will see you all then if I don't see you all before. Happy stitching. Feel free to leave a comment. Happy holidays and happy planning. So hopefully you all are planners just like me, and I will see you next time. Bye.